suis juste devant chez Rebel Gun Research. Je m'en vais rencontrer Alexander Fleiss pour voir comment ils utilisent l'intelligence artificielle pour faire des investissements.
We originally started as a hedge fund, and then about 3 years ago opened our robo-advisor retail website division, and that is the growth engine of the firm. We still market our hedge fund to colleges and pension funds. We're managing individual clients' accounts. We have a global 1 beta and a global 0 beta, so that translates into 100% market exposure and 0 market exposure. So we can take 22-year-olds to 85-year-olds, give them any market percentage exposure they want, and charge a flat fee. Both of our products have consistently beaten their hedge fund indices. So the idea is we can use machine learning to offer hedge fund level products to the retail world, where we have 26 countries where we have clients, and about 80% of our new business comes from outside the US. We use a Bayesian machine learning. Bayes is a mathematician who was preoccupied with looking at an ever-changing data set. So, instead of just a set that never changes, you have every day a new data set. And so Bayes' work really looked to come up with making predictions based on a data set that changes. And so the function that you create works with a new data set, and with machine learning applied to a changing data set, we're able to keep up with the ever-changing economic markets. And so people ask, does the machine learning learn? Yes, it does learn. And does it get smarter? Yes, it does get smarter, but it doesn't mean the prediction level goes higher. It just means that it's able to keep up with the changing global economic world, whereas Australia in 1990 might have been 10 to 15%. Chinese exports today is up to 40% Chinese exports. So as economies change and as companies change, whereas Apple, it's not the company it was in 1995. The machine learning learns how the changing economic landscape is, and it learns the various industries in those economic landscapes. So the heart of what the machine learning is really a economic prediction machine that monitors 53 countries on a daily basis and makes predictions on about 11,000 global assets, 200 commodities, currencies, global sovereign debts, on top of stocks from about 55 countries. So it's really a robotic economist, to simplify it in a kind of a puerile manner. It picks its favorite countries and its favorite currencies. Currencies are very important because the entire value of a country is denominated by its currency. And so then when it's found its favorite countries and currencies, it looks for its favorite global industries and picks those individual stocks within those favorite industries or those favorite countries. So when you finally get a stock that our system will buy, it'll have as many as 150 or as few as 50 positive factors. And these are factors associated with strong industrial output or rise in auto sales. And at the same time, our 0 beta, our no market exposure, is pure economics. It only buys asset classes, and that'll have fewer positive factors. So it'll only buy Japanese large cap or German industrials, and that is to mitigate risk, and that's also to showcase that the technology is very much an economic prediction machine. And that strategy has actually been profitable every year for 6 years in a row, with absolutely no market exposure. I mean, our system makes predictions that sometimes can be quite close. At one point in 2008, our system thought the S&P would drop 40%. And it ended up dropping like 38%. Obviously, it can be completely wrong. I mean, our system's right 63% of the time on global predictions, so 37%. It's very wrong, but just a little bit of intelligent code in so many niche places in our economy can make the world a safer, more efficient place. A human could never keep up with the amount of data that we keep up with. Our system runs for about 7 hours a night, and it'll make as many as 10,000 It'll look at 10,000 factors per second as the system runs, and it looks at hundreds of millions of overall factors. Because it runs from the beginning of the database in the mid-1990s through October 17th, 2017. And so it runs the entire length of its historical database every night. Yeah, so it's just, it's really it's very, very intelligent, statistical analysis. So it's really a lot of work for a human being to do. Yeah, no, emotional intelligence is, it's just very hard because it's also hard to create a data set for emotional intelligence. Mm-hmm. It's really hard. And so anyway, my partner Spencer has been obsessed with creating dating websites and has used machine learning to make matches. And he believes that, that there is chemistry. Marlon Brando is famous for having setting guys and dolls. Chemistry is what makes love. And so Spencer's feeling is that chemistry is a science, and that we can, we can break up what makes love and learn it. And so he is obsessed with getting there, but he thinks we're still far off. So who knows, 20, 30, 40 years. But Spencer hopes to be one of the first pioneers of machine learning love comprehension. Yeah. Well, finance is much easier. Yeah. I mean, with Greece, we got a lot of press for having called the Greek financial crisis early, and but with Greece, it was, it was at a higher PE ratio than Germany and France, and it had retail sales in the negative when, the other European counterparts had positive retail sales. I mean, Greece was pretty, that case study is very easy to decipher why our system didn't like it. So I think that robots will be able to, be very functional, and might take 30 to 60% of the market in time, but there's always going to be a market for human stock pickers and for human advisors. We're still at the dawn of machine learning. If machine learning were like the new world, it's more like 1509, 1510. Cortez just burned his sails. Very little has happened. So what can happen in time is beyond my comprehension now. But my daughter will see interesting stuff.